Hi guys, Dr. Mel. We're going to start a section now. We're going to have a look at the energies that's involved in a chemical reaction. We know we eat food, the food gets digested, and that releases energy. So we've got energy to do a few things. So what's actually happening with these chemical reactions that's taking place? So there's a few things that needs to be marked in this chapter. It's energy. So we're having a look at the heat of a reaction, and I'll explain that just now. We can find an endo as well as an exothermic reaction. We're going to have a look at the heat or the enthalpy. There's a part that we're going to have a look at activation. How do we actually activate it? And it can start. The activation energy will form an activated complex. We're going to draw a few graphs in the next lesson, and we can also use a catalysis. So a catalyst can actually either influence the products or the reactants. So let's have a look at the first section, which is the heat of a reaction. Now remember, the heat here is not like it's going to heat up. It actually does, but we can't feel it. It's actually energy. And we know if we switch on a kettle or a iron or anything, we are generating heat. So it's energy being transferred from one situation into another form of energy. So what is actually needed to get a chemical reaction? Well, you've learned that we start off with reactants. So in this case here, I've got zinc, it's solid. So I've got a test tube here, and I'm putting in zinc solid, and that's zinc. I'm adding to that another reactant. It's still a reactant, and it's hydrochloric acid. So I'm adding in here hydrochloric acid. And there's my two reactants. This will now react, and it will form a product. So at the end of this chemical reaction, you'll get pieces of the zinc that will be bound. Can you see here? To the chlorine there, and it's two of them, and you see there that you've got hydrogen gas that will be released. So this is where we start, and that's where we end. So we call these the products, and this side the reactants. Now, before it can start forming the product, it needs to overcome the existing bonds. The bonds between the one zinc and the other, as well as the hydrogen and the chloride ion. So we need to break that bond, and to break that bond, you need to put in energy. Again, when they move towards each other, these two, they will release energy, and therefore we've got energy in and energy out. So what's actually happening is that we've got, for instance here, I've got H2. Can you see the H2 there? And H2 and H2. And I also have chlorine gas. There I've got Cl2, Cl2. So what do we call this side here? We call it the reactants. So I'm starting off with Cl2 and H2. What do I have to do to get them to become the product here? I need to pull these apart. So let's see, let's put in some energy, and I'm pulling these apart. And can you see there? Let me just get my blue pen. This is one H atom, another one. So it's not bound to each other anymore. So what I did here is I actually increased the energy. Let's see here. I increase the energy. I pull these apart. Can you see the chloride there? There you've got that one and that one. So now they agitated. They've got high energy. They don't want to be like that. And they will now go towards each other again. And now you'll form the product. Can you see here? I've got an H, an H, an H. And it's bound to this chloride there. So now you formed HCl. what happened here is that it was a release of energy. So I put in energy and I released energy. And if we do not have that, a chemical reaction will not happen. Let's have a look again. If you're writing your equation, this is the reactants. We first have to break these bonds. That's the energy that we put in. As soon as they move towards each other, it will be energy out, and they have now formed the product. I quickly want to relate you to a physics lesson that you've done somewhere previously. Can you remember that you said potential energy is the mass times the gravitational acceleration times the height? And we said if we pick something up, we're increasing the potential energy. Well, in a certain sense, this is also related to that, because we are taking these particles and we're pulling them apart, so we're increasing the distance between them, and as soon as they move towards each other, they release that energy again. So just think in terms of distance between them. They're being pulled apart. I need energy to do that, and as they move towards each other, they release energy again. Right. What is enthalpy, or the delta H? Now, the delta H is the change in heat, in reaction heat, in the heat of reaction. Why I'm writing this in the small corner, I don't know. I could have written it there. So again, delta H is the change. It's the difference of what? Of the energy that went in and the energy that went out. If I put in 100 kilojoules and per mole, that's always per mole, and I've got out 50 kilojoules, it kept a 50. Can you see? And it's now higher than it was. If I started with 100 kilojoules in and it is now at 30 kilojoules, it lost 70 kilojoules. So you will need to quantify how much energy did I put in, pull them apart, and how many is released when they move towards each other. This we call bonding energy. Remember you did covalent and ionic bonds? Well, just to bind these atoms or ions together, you will have ionic bond, you will have to have energy. And the bonding energy is the energy that's needed to break the bond. Not of any number of atoms or molecules, it has to be specifically 1 mole, because they standardize the measurement of 1 mole. So you will always get a table if they want you to calculate this. Now let's have a look at the table. The bond between one hydrogen and another, they worked it out as 436 kilojoules per mole. So it takes you 436 kilojoules to break that bond. On the other hand, to form that bond will also release 436 kilojoules. So that's specifically that. You don't have to know the values. They'll give you the values. On the other hand, let's have a look at oxygen and hydrogen. It's 463. It's much like that one, but it's now oxygen, and this one was hydrogen. Let's have a look at the carbon. Here we've got 1 carbon and another carbon, 348. A carbon and a hydrogen, 413. A carbon and another carbon with a double bond, 614, to break that bond. So again, you don't have to know it. You'll need to be able to apply it. So what's a typical question? Calculate the bonding energy, they're asking me. Where they're giving me an equation. I've got 2 NH3s, 2 ammonia. So I've got N, H, H, and H. Do you see there? How many bonds do I have? 1, 2, 3 bonds in each of them. So I have 2 of them. 1, 2, 3. Now I can go back to my table. Let me quickly clear this table. I now want to know the N and H. Can you see it's 391? So to break each of these would be 391, 391, 391, as same as this one. So I said I've got 6 of these bonds. NH, it's 391. If I multiply that, I get the energy to break, to overcome those bonds as 2,346. So it's a little bit calculator work. And you know now to break that into separate N's and 6 H's, I need the 2,346 kilojoules. Now it's going to form a product. The product is hydrogens moving towards each other. Let's go back to this table. It will release 436. How many hydrogens will there be? 3 of them. So I've got the 3 hydrogens times the 436. I'm also going to form nitrogen. And nitrogen, if we have a look at our table, it is 954. It's quite a lot. So I've got one of them forming there, 954. And if I now add these together, it's 2253. Now let's have a look. To put the reactant in an activated state, to break all the bonds, it took 2,346 kilojoules for every mole. When they released energy to find a product now, it was 2,253, which means the energy in minus the energy out is giving me a gain of 93 kilojoules. I put in 93 kilojoules more this side than this side. Therefore, it will be a positive, it's a gain of energy. It's a gain of heat. I put in more that was than what was released. Therefore, it's endo. Endo, in. I put in 93 more than that was released. So, guys, you need to know, if the reactance is more than the product, it's an endothermic reaction. If the products on the other side is more or greater than the reactants, it's an exothermic reaction. That makes sense. More released, exit, giving away, indo, putting in. So, you need to be able to define endo and exothermic, and you've got an idea now. This is a greater release, and this is a greater gain. So, it's got more than it was released. Now, let's quickly define it. The exothermic reaction will be the product has less energy than the reactants, or we can say the reactants have more energy than the product. You'll see in the next lesson where we draw graphs, it's much easier to understand. But this lesson is just telling you I'm breaking bonds and I'm releasing and forming products again. Endothermic, so I'm releasing at less, so the products have more energy than the reactants. Can you see here? I'm now releasing less energy. Right, guys, you need to know that we can apply this in everyday life. So all the reactions happening where they actually release energy, like photosynthesis, like digestion of food, is exothermic. Go into the kitchen and make some popcorn. You know you heat popcorn, but it just spreads out. That's exothermic. Lots of energy released. Endothermic, on the other hand, will actually release less. This uses more energy, and this releases more energy. And this will be respiration and fuels. But that's not the important thing. The important thing, guys, is to know when it's exothermic, it's releasing more. So the reactants had more than the products, and in endothermic I added, so the products now have more than what I started off with. Go and have a look at the internet. Go and find a question where you have to do just the definitions and just the comparison between the exo and the endothermic, and know exactly why it happens. And the one thing I'll concentrate on is to actually use a table like this, where you can actually break bonds first and then make new bonds. So that's a typical question that they'll ask you, but they'll provide you with the table. I hope you enjoy energy and chemical reactions. Bye-bye.